All right, everybody. We're here early today with episode 11 of the podcast. I'm Otto, the person to my right. Like, if I point this way, is that correct? Yeah. Is Spoon?
I think it's left on the stream.
Yeah, it's left. It's left on the stream, but right. You know what? Whatever. I'm not wearing an undershirt. Actually, this is the OverLimit shirt, the merch. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of tough to see, but this shirt is pretty comfy. It's also much bigger than I thought it would be. This is an XL, but it feels like a double XL. I don't know. It feels good though. Actually, I know it's biased, but it does feel actually really good. Anyway, Spoon, how are you doing today?
Good. We just, I just stopped the stream like 15 or 20 minutes ago. Was doing ease, which is fun. So.
And we'll definitely talk about that because you've put it 4 to 5 hours into that, so we should definitely touch on that. And I unfortunately didn't get to Xenoblade yesterday because of homework. We'll just say homework issues. I was like, and other real life stuff came up. So hopefully this week at some point I can hop on for a little bit. I do want to, but that was kind of But we got. I mean, we got to see East, so that was a little bonus. So let's do the quick sellout portion of our podcast.
The shilling, as
the shilling.
Troy would call it.
You know what? I just want to say regarding the shilling, I feel, and this is just my opinion, I feel that our shilling is better than YouTuber shilling. And here's why. We sound genuine. We're not trying to, give you bad deals regarding our merch store. I feel like ours is more authentic than just
like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
It's a little like more there. That's a little more generic, right? So, merch store, we are selling it out. I'm going to be a huge sellout today, of course, because I have the cup with my coffee. I have the shirt now, which I think, guys, is actually really it's really comfortable. I almost said uncomfortable, but that's
really uncomfortable.
But that's not true.
It's really uncomfortable.
It's really uncomfortable. Don't get it. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's a horrible thing. No, it is a good shirt. I think that I wasn't sure what I was expecting, to be honest. I thought that I was gonna get some like generic ass crappy shirt, and I am surprised because it's really comfortable actually. It's pretty soft. I am surprised. So I'm very happy that obviously I got it just because, it's our podcast, right? But it's a comfy shirt. The cup is pretty nice. If I'm going to be honest, it's a little small for my taste. So if you like a small coffee cup, I think you're in luck here. But the shirt, not enough coffee, dude. Not enough coffee. But the shirt I can vouch for. It's a $15 shirt for us. I mean, shipping's going to be somewhere in there as well. This is a comfortable shirt if you want to support us and all that. So, yes, I have actually washed it. I've washed this shirt, dried it. I always wash my shirts, when I buy them. I wash them right away. And this is a good shirt. So, I highly recommend the shirt, I will say. I think it'd be great if you guys got it. It'd be cool to represent our podcast. We obviously appreciate it. We don't actually profit that much from this, so it's more like just a way for you guys to support us on a sharing what we do perspective. So hopefully you guys will get it. Spoon, I know you were thinking about getting the mouse pad at some point or whatever it was, but
yeah, mouse pad, probably a mouse pad and shirt was what I'd go for. I haven't. I keep forgetting, if I'm to be honest, but I should do that.
But like we've said it before, none of these things, like we could have priced these much higher, but that's not really what
$50 shirt.
Honestly, I've seen people price shirts like $25, and I just think it's a huge ripoff. The hoodies, like $30 for this kind of hoodie is.
Yeah, I've seen a hoodie like that for, I don't know, $70 or something like that.
It's ridiculous. We don't profit from this stuff, guys. The whole idea is just we want to give something that can be cool for you to wear and have, and again, just something to help support what we're doing. So that's the merch store part of this. There should be a bot command, exclamation point merch. The bot will spam it once in a while, and I'm sure it'll happen at some point soon. Yep, Spoon put the merch, thank you. And hopefully we can get some different merch in here as well. We'll Spoon and I at some point will brainstorm some like cool stuff. I am super tempted to get a spinning cutter shirt going. I don't know how, you don't know how tempting it is to get like spinning cutter or like something like silly gacha related. I don't know. I think it would be kind of funny to have that for like a brief period of time. The second thing I wanted to quickly mention, and Spoon, obviously you can sort of chime in on this as well. I think we talked about this last week, Spoon and I did, but we did look at some of the videos regarding the short one, and Spoon can tell you this because I showed him in a Discord call, but the length of the video, interestingly enough, was not necessarily the reason why this one did much better than the others, but one of the benefits of YouTube and things like that is we can look at the data, and guys, like Marvel's Avengers was a hot topic, I guess. But apparently it's a hot topic.
People were searching up Marvel's Avengers, and they skipped to that particular section of the video and watched that particular section of the video, and then didn't watch anything else.
But the reason why I mentioned this is, one, just explaining why we're still not necessarily cutting videos right now, I think is something I wanted to mention because we talked about it before. But also, I wanted to sort of highlight that we do get some people coming through the YouTube from searches now, which is great. And the reason why I mention that is because you guys liking and commenting on the videos, all of it's helping. It really is. It's just, I personally think it's helping. I think it's really great that you guys are still liking and commenting these videos. Particularly, I'm just going to single people out, but Brian, Try Courage, you guys have been great. You guys are great. You're diligent. I love it. So thank you so much, particularly you two. And Spoon, do you want to add anything else onto that? Just because I know we've got more videos coming, I assume, with some East stuff, or Rainbow Six tomorrow is going to happen. I have to double check with those guys, but we'll get another Rainbow Six going.
Yep, I mean, I've got a couple of episodes of East to upload now.
Yep.
The one today is actually probably going to get chopped into two because we had the disconnect.
Yeah.
But I will get those uploaded when I have time. I mean, yeah.
It's
not that I don't have time, but when I upload it, it just
takes forever. Oh, it takes forever.
It takes forever, and it tanks my bandwidth, so I can't do anything.
Yeah, it's so annoying. It's super annoying. Yeah, I'm with you there, dude. It's super annoying.
But maybe I'll remember today, like after the podcast, while we go eat dinner or something. Maybe I'll upload. The one from yesterday was like 4 hours, so that one will actually probably take quite a while.
That's gonna take a while. Yeah, that one's tough. I will say that after, I think maybe next month, I'm getting a new laptop for school because my other laptop actually just bonked. So that laptop I'm getting for school, though, is going to have video editing software. So I might be able to cut some of these videos up a little. It's particularly the 4-hour ones. So we can cut some of these 4-hour videos up into 2-hour ones. Maybe that'll help, particularly for uploading. But the point is, for at least for me, I know I kind of cut you off there, but I just want to say thanks to the people that are going on these videos and liking and commenting. Seriously, this is the kind of stuff that can happen. Is like 30 views for those big channels is nothing, but for us, those 30 views, we actually got another subscriber from all this stuff. So clearly somebody enjoyed what we were doing or the conversation we were having. So this stuff all comes together and helps. I just wanted to say from my perspective, thank you. And for the podcast in general, I'm Spoon and I are both very happy and thankful you guys are doing this.
I think we also decided off of that we were gonna timestamp the podcast episodes as best as we could. We did that for last week's. I believe. Otto did some of it, and then I did some of it too. So yeah. So you can see. Go ahead. For people who want to jump to particular sections of the conversation, that should be there on, hopefully on all the podcast episodes going forward.
Yep. We're gonna try and do that. just because specifically that Marvel's Avengers thing. So we'll be doing that. Hopefully that'll be helpful for people. And yeah, that's what we're doing moving forward. So let me just unzoom out of YouTube for a second. And let's move on now to game news, unless there's something I'm missing here, Spoon. You should cut me off if I'm missing something. Is there anything else you wanted to specifically highlight before we move to the game news stuff? Because there's actually quite a bit, I would say.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot at the end of that last week, but the beginning of this week it kind of all came in. But
for sure, hold on.
Movie night was good.
Yep.
Last night. I know for people who have work the next day, 10 p.m. Eastern is a bit too late, so we apologize. But that seems to actually be the best day for most people. I know it's kind of rough for Try, so sorry, bud. Maybe we'll have movie night at a different time. Some weeks, but this time seems to be working in general for people. And Fellowship of the Ring was good yesterday. I think the plan for the next 2 weeks is just continue Lord of the Rings. We'll do Two Towers next week, and we'll do Return of the King the week after that, and then we'll see where we go from there with movie night. But yeah, I join us if you can and are interested. Obviously, I think it's been fun so far.
Yeah,
so,
it has been great. Last night was super fun. I really enjoyed it. So we'll do Two Towers next week, as Spoon said. We'll put something out there in the Discord later this week, so tomorrow or Friday, I'm sure. Okay, let's get into game news. There, like Spoon said, there was a lot that came in early this week. I have here starting on Stadia, so let's put our Stadia hats on.
Oh boy.
So I'm going to zoom on in here. There's two parts of this that I want to show. And Spoon, I don't know how much you actually looked at the video that I posted and such, but there's pieces of this that we have to go through. So in March of last year, 2020, the Stadia folks had a Stadia game studio. Our new Stadia Games and Entertainment Studio in Playa Vista. I don't actually know Playa Vista. I don't actually know where that is. Is that near LA? I really don't know where it is. Okay, so with the opening of Stadia's first original game studio in Montreal last year. Okay, so I guess I was completely off. Montreal. So the studio had been opened. They had it's being led by Shannon Studstill. Shannon Studstill, actually, I don't remember specifically the involvement she's had, but she's a pretty big name in the industry, from my understanding. So it wasn't like they just didn't bring in anybody that had like some pedigree before. And they made this whole blog post about this, and it was really exciting for Stadia folks. All 20 of them were very excited. So let's fast forward now to February 1st, so 2 days ago, and Stadia comes out with another blog post here. And to sum up this blog post's important piece, that studio is being closed. They're closing that studio. That studio hadn't even been around for a year.
It's been less than a year.
It's been less than a year. And the lead with them, and one of the other leads, Jade Raymond, who I wish I knew the full extent of this person's background, but this was not like a small name in the industry, is gone. He just left. This person just left Google. And I did see a Reddit post regarding this, and it was concerning for Stadia folks. Obviously, all 13 of them were not enthusiastic about the future of Stadia. This was supposed to be Stadia's big studio that's going to get all the first-party games that will build this platform.
Did they even release a game?
No. They didn't release a single game.
Good. And
there's just nothing that this studio really has to show at this time, obviously. And Stadia, Google has just said, we're going to focus on making the platform as best as it can. So, I'm going to fire it over to you now, Spoon. What are your thoughts regarding Google opening a first-party studio and then closing it within a year, And two, Google's decision to do this and focus on the platform itself.
I mean, if it wasn't already there, I think this is the beginning of the end for Stadia, to be honest. I know they said they're going to focus on the platform, but except for Blue's one friend who loves Stadia, I've not heard anybody who likes Stadia or plays Stadia, because it's just a mess. The business model is terrible. You have to pay a subscription and then you have to buy the games. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I think just with the business model, it was doomed from the outset. The reports when it came out, it had input delay, which again depends on the type of game you're playing. But if you're playing Destiny, it's pretty bad.
Oh, it's terrible, yeah.
But if you're playing a turn-based game, it doesn't really matter, and that's fine.
Sure.
So it really depends on the game. But I think there's a market for Stadia in certain people who are on the go a lot and need to use it. But other than that, it felt very, the business model was bad. Obviously, with this studio, did we even get any inkling of anything that they were even working on?
Not
they
really.
Had to have done something in the working on something in the last year, and whatever it was, they scrapped it and they just closed the studio. I mean, I think having this, if they were really serious about keeping this platform going, having exclusives sounds like a great idea.
Yep.
But
I agree with you. Like, why would you? This is like a typical Google thing, by the way, where something they have exists. Google has my problem, actually. My problem is I like to start things, but actually finishing them off becomes a challenge. Yeah. Because if it's not fulfilling enough to finish off. Like, let's take AC Valhalla. I've put so many hours into that game, but I have no will.
Yeah, you're just sick. You're sick of it.
I'm sick of it, so I just throw it away, basically. Not, obviously, I'll finish AC Valhalla at some point, but my point is, Google has the same issue, where they'll start stuff, and it won't go exactly 100% perfectly, like it's the next best thing, and they'll just be like, okay, well, it's screwed up, without it actually getting to a point where it could potentially be seen
succeed, yeah,
as or even just giving it a shot to succeed. Google Glasses from TriCourage, that was a god-awful idea. I went to a meetup group, basically like a little event, and somebody was wearing a Google Glass. They looked like the dumbest person there. They looked stupid. That was a bad idea. I mean, but they did scrap it quickly. They've done this for several different ideas. I mean, there's a website focused on this, actually. It's like all the things... dead Google projects. Okay, but what do you think about... Okay, if Stadia focuses on the platform itself, I don't know what there is to actually clean up with Stadia's platform. They're not going to change the business model. Let's just assume that. Is there anything that they can do... Yeah. Is there anything they can do on this platform without changing, obviously, the business model, which I feel like is the reason why it's terrible. But is there anything on this platform that can change that would make anybody consider jumping on Stadia, as opposed to Amazon Luna is coming out? I did get an invite to it. I didn't accept it because I don't like their library particularly much. And then the Xbox one, which is the... why am I forgetting the name of it? xCloud or whatever.
Yeah, xCloud. Yeah, that's it.
So xCloud, like, what can Stadia do to the platform to make it look any more enticing than these two?
I don't know. I think that I think number one is change the business model, and as you said, they're probably not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It should be the Netflix of games, where you pay, or like Game Pass, you pay a subscription and you get access to this library of games. And maybe at first it's not huge, but as the platform I assume if it would gain more popularity, they would get access to more and more games, because the publishers would see the value in putting their games on Stadia if it was popular.
Right.
I think that's kind of how these things work. Game Pass is popular, obviously Microsoft has the ability to buy up a ton of studios with their money, but there's a lot of other third-party stuff that is on Game Pass, and I think it's because the publishers and the developers see the value of putting their games on Game Pass for, people can try them out on Game Pass, and if they like them, if you have a game on Game Pass, by the way, if the game has DLC or something like that, you still have to buy the DLC. So the developer can make money off the DLC, or maybe it just gets a player interested in that developer's particular games and they want to go check out different games.
Sure, it makes sense. The model makes sense from that perspective.
The model makes sense. And again, I'm sure Microsoft pays something to the publishers to have the game.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, they definitely do. Yeah.
So it's kind of a mutually beneficial relationship. Stadia, it's just what is the value of owning a game of owning Stadia, other than, again, there are two main reasons that I can see someone wanting to have Stadia. A, if there's someone who is on the go a lot and maybe doesn't have needs to play on their phone, or they're in hotel rooms all the time or whatever, so they need to play that way and they can't carry their consoles with them, obviously, and stuff like that. That's number one. Number two, it's someone who maybe wants to play PC games but doesn't want to spend the money on a $2,000 rig or something like that. So you can use Stadia and it's streamed to you. But there are problems with this, as Tri said, imagine trying to stream a game on Stadia using hotel Wi-Fi. That sounds awful.
That's not working.
Or over, 4G or 5G on your phone. Again, that sounds awful. I think the latency would be really bad. And for most actual gamers, well, a lot of us do have a gaming qualities PC, at least a half decent one. Maybe we can't play everything on the highest settings, but we can get by and play games. It's probably a better experience than playing it on Stadia. Plus, you don't have to pay a subscription. I know Stadia has a free model, and I don't know exactly how that works, but
you don't get the highest tier of, you don't get 4K. You obviously don't get discounts on their library of games. You can't get access to free games that they do in fact have on their library, which is, I think, a fairly small amount. Okay, let's quickly compare xCloud and Stadia just from a beneficial standpoint. Okay, so Stadia, one of the benefits I think of Stadia specifically is it can work on all the Chrome devices with little to no issue, and I suppose that's it. Literally, I don't understand why anybody would go to Stadia as opposed to the xCloud at this point. When xCloud fully releases and all that, I think it's in some kind of beta at this point. But Stadia's benefits are actually just complete negatives at this point. Stadia has, you buy the games, so there's a cost there. So you're purchasing the games on the cloud. All of Stadia's benefits actually are from Google's end, if I'm being honest. The only benefits you get from Stadia are actually Google gets benefits from you, because Google is essentially the retailer, and they take all of those retail benefits that the normal retailer would get. They take all those funds that they would get, and it just seems like the benefits actually are one-sided. All the benefits end up going to Google in this case, whereas with xCloud, you're still purchasing that subscription model, but once you do, you have access to everything. So, as a user of this platform, when I do put that upfront $13 down, I think is what the cost is, I get this huge library of stuff that I can still play on the go, just like Stadia. So there are just more obvious benefits there. And if someone were to come to me and go, oh no, but you buy the game on Stadia, it's yours. It's not yours. You're licensing the use of the game on a cloud-based platform that if it went away tomorrow, you no longer own that game. You just put $60 down and it just goes poof.
Yep.
So with xCloud, because you're not buying any of the games, I suppose if you buy DLC and stuff, that's on you, of course. But you put the $13 down, and then once xCloud goes away, you're not as hurt because you didn't buy all those games. There's less buyer's remorse there. So I'm like boggled as to why people think Stadia is like going to be any better of a platform than any of these other guys. Like Amazon Luna is doing the same thing that xCloud's doing. They're doing a subscription model. And it's a pretty low-cost subscription model, I might add. You don't have to buy the games in their library once you buy in to the subscription. You could, like, Ubisoft has, like, this thing that they do where you have to, like, you can get, like, a Ubisoft Plus package and you get access to more Ubisoft games. But other than that, anything that's on Luna is yours to use. So Stadia it has a bad business model. Its approach to the game market has been god-awful. Their advertising campaigns, I'm just going to add this on there, are terrible.
Oh, yeah. Their
ads are terrible. Their ads are terrible. And they're just like, they closed down their first-party studio, so now there's no first-party games. So, why, like, Luna, I imagine, if Amazon does invest in it, is probably going to want to put some of the Amazon Studios games, which we'll talk about, on Luna specifically. Yep. And xCloud has all the Microsoft Xbox first-party games. Of course they're going to have it. So there's a benefit there of buying into that. You'll get access to all that. My whole point is, like, Stadia appears to be on this trend of doomed to fail, and I think it's hysterical that they keep saying that they say that their technology has been proven and works at scale. That's great. Your model does not work. Google's technology, I guarantee, is going to work in most cases. It's simply how the model works out.
I know. I mean, the biggest issue with Stadia is the business model. The business model is absolutely terrible. It needs to be a subscription, whatever it costs, $10 a month, 15, 20, and then you get access to the library.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's, like you said with Amazon, maybe there's some add-on packages, like with cable TV, like you have to buy HBO and the sports networks, whatever. Maybe there's some upgrade packages where you can get access to more and more games.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that can get dangerous, where the cost can go very, very high very quickly if you want all the packages. But it should still be, you pay X amount and you get access to this library of games. It should be Netflix, Game Pass, pretty much any other streaming service that exists works this way.
They do,
you pay the subscription and you get access to the library with little to no restriction.
Right.
I don't know why they went for this. Like, hey, you can pay a subscription for, I don't even know what you get out of this. The subscription. You get discounts.
You get higher quality streaming options. You get discounts. Quality. You get this library of free games that Stadia does have access to. They have this subscription model set up, but you only get access to a specific subset of free games. They have like a subset of those games that are free. Most of them are just like they've been out for a really long time. Like, why would you care at that point? You could probably buy them for almost nothing at this point.
Yeah.
Type of situation. I don't know. I don't get it. But Stadia, but this is the thing with Google, is they don't want to admit they're wrong here. Yeah. So they're gonna like keep their head down.
Stadia was dead in the water pretty much as soon as they announced that as the business model. People are like, "Wait, what?"
Why everybody's like, "No,
no, that's an awful idea. Why would you do that?"
Right. It makes no sense. It just made no sense. So okay. Any other stuff?
Well, yeah. We'll see how long. This, to me, when I saw this, I was like, okay, the next Stadia announcement is going to be that they're just like, Stadia is going to exist, but they're not really going to support it anymore. So
that would be a very Google thing to do.
We'll see if in the next 6 months to a year, if we get that announcement that, like, yeah, Stadia, it's there, but it's another, like, sort of tanked Google project that they're just like, all right, we tried it, but now we're just going to give up and move on to something else because it's bad.
Which is a shame too, because if it weren't for that business model, this could have worked.
I think so.
It really could have worked. Yeah. All right, let's move to. I've got Amazon Game Studios next with all the displayed advertisements that I'm getting. So there's a lot in this article. Part of it discusses projects that have been canceled, including a game called Crucible. We've talked about this a long time ago. There was like one or two other games that ended up not really working out. Additionally, corporate issues regarding sexism, I think, was what happened. Like, there were some examples, some people were interviewed and mentioned that they were a woman and happened to be, undermined because they disagreed with something, I think was what occurred, and they got hired over because, like, they did one thing wrong, and they happened to be a woman, I guess, was a part of it as well. So there's like a lot of different things in this article. The things that I think we should definitely focus on are this. Amazon reportedly spent $500 million per year operating the game division.
That's a lot.
And I want to make sure that I zoom in so people see that. That's a lot of cash. That amount also apparently doesn't include Amazon Luna, which I think is important because I imagine Amazon Luna is going to be an expensive project for them. So then this part kind of details the person that they put in charge of the game studios, because they had made this product, which I've seen it constantly. If you've ever gone to like TwitchCon, you've probably seen this Amazon Lumberyard. This was their game engine. Amazon Lumberyard was apparently their game engine. They decided not to use Unity or Unreal Engine. So this is Lumberyard. And apparently from employees' opinions, they just said Lumberyard is bad. I'm not even going to, they're just saying, look, Lumberyard is not a good engine. And this is the part right here that talks about some of the game developers who were women explained some of the worst sexism in the industry. So, I mean, there's a lot to take in here. There is a lot in here that was discussed regarding the mismanagement part, the amount of money put into this, the terrible engine, and just sexism. So, the last part of this, I think I wanted to talk about too, before I sort of turn it over to you. The game New World that I was interested in. Apparently this game, there's a really bad backstory to this game. It's in here in this article. I think maybe we should post the article in the chat for people who want to read this part. But New World, previous to what it is right now, the enemies were actually, they looked a lot more like, as they said, indigenous people. We're just going to say more like Native Americans, okay? So, people in the company, particularly this person, Patrick Gilmore, had said, hey, this seems racist. This seems a little bit too much. And they ended up removing these imagery, these specific enemies, just because, that's a little bit, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you remember Resident Evil 5 when people were like, there was conversations regarding that where you're killing, because you're in Africa, right? You're killing
a lot of African people.
Yeah, killing a lot of African people here. This is a little weird that we got this Chris Redfield white guy just killing all these black people all the time.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought that was really stupid in Resident Evil, that sort of argument and that drama, because it's set in Africa. I'm sorry, right. There's a lot of black people in Africa.
This game is supposed to be a fictitious version of 1600s America. And so, the whole point of this was that New World, they changed a lot of the enemies in the game specifically because of this piece that I just highlighted here, which is people within the company thought it was racist. They brought in a tribal consultant who found the portrayal quite offensive, and they removed it. And New World is supposed to be the Amazon's big game that's coming up. This is like their... Obviously, Crucible was back then, but this is like... New World is the big one. It's supposed to be, at least. They delayed the game, actually, until spring. No date on that. But this is like Amazon's big game that's coming out. There's really nothing else of note.
Yep.
So there was a lot here, Spoon. There was a lot to focus on here. Anything in here that you want to just immediately jumps out on you. And again, there was the $500 million being invested, the mismanagement of the company, and the sexism in the development studio, the terrible engine, and the new game coming out, New World.
Yeah, I mean, $500 million is a ton. There's not I mean, I'm sure they're working on multiple different projects, so that's kind of spanned, but that feels like, I don't know, some of the bigger game project, you hear maybe a couple $100 million spent on the project or something like that. Like, I think Avengers, for example, Square spent a couple $100 million on that. But that was over a number of years. 500 million a year just seems like an obscene amount of money to spend.
It's insane. Well, this is okay. Yeah, operating the game division. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that you can consider that $500 million. Just, I don't know of a lot of game divisions that spend that much at all. Like, I really don't. Like, there's very few that I can think of that would just be spending that much money. Like developers in particular, just throwing that much money at something. There are very, very few out there. So that was insane.
The lumberyard engine thing that you talked about in this that's just kind of a funny, that's kind of funny to me, because I mean, I've seen this song and dance over and over again where the company, a lot of times it's Japanese companies, to be honest, like Square Enix, like, nah, we don't need to use Unreal, we'll build our own engine, we'll use I think theirs was called Luminous or something like that. And eventually they just was like, nah, this is trash, we're gonna use Unreal. Like,
this happens all the time.
Yeah, they think they can save more money or do a better job or whatever. They're like, they don't want to pay the royalties for using Unreal, basically, and then they just build a crappy engine and it ends up being terrible. It's like, just suck it up and use Unreal. You're gonna spend a lot less money and have a lot less headache if you just use Unreal. Building a game engine, I don't know anything about it, but from what I've heard, or what I've seen at least, it doesn't seem easy, and Unreal does it very well. So, yeah.
Some people just don't want to bite that bullet. It's like, just bite it. Like, you're just do it. Like, it's okay. But yeah, apparently Lumberyard. Again, I've seen constant stuff about Lumberyard for the past couple of years at these Twitch cons and things like that, and they're trying to, like, hype up and say, oh yeah, Lumberyard is an engine that developers should be building and working with. Excuse me, not building, working with. And just former employees just saying, look, Lumberyard's killing this company. It's bad. It's not a good engine. It's, I guess, painfully slow is a quote here. Oh my god. Okay. Developers would play Halo or watch Amazon Prime Video as they waited for Lumberyard to process art or compile code. That is really bad.
Yep.
That is really bad. If you're just like, okay, it's going to take enough time where you could play Halo and it's compiling code. Oh man, that's bad. Any other stuff in here that you wanted to just, like, quickly mention in here? Again, there's a lot.
The other stuff, the racism, the sexism, this is, it's unfortunate to say, but again, these are not new issues that we see in the game industries. Riot Games had that thing from, I don't know, a year or two ago that was just constant, male culture, toxic male culture, basically, and sexist and racist, and yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I don't know. I feel like people in the positions of power just abuse their power and just, I don't know.
They just, like, it's particular people with an ego that don't want to admit they're wrong, and there's like a surprising number of those people, and these are the ones that cause problems.
It's not usually the nice guy that rises to the top, because in order to rise to the top, you usually have to step on a few people to get there. So yeah,
it's just frustrating. And I didn't know anything about the New World thing. Like I said, when I read this part, I want to say I was surprised, just because, I didn't even know that this was part of the backstory of the game. But at the same time, I'm really not surprised that a game developer would do something like this, which, by the way, this is extremely insensitive, what they've done here. It's supposed to be a survival game where you just kill the indigenous people, and the indigenous people happen to look Native American. It's like, buddy, you got to read a history textbook and realize that that's not cool.
That doesn't sound like a survival game at all. That just sounds like a
Sounds like
a Native American genocide.
That literally sounds like our history. So
yeah,
I was like, buddy, like this isn't an educational game, obviously. So maybe you should not do that approach. So that's why I'm sure that's why when I played it, it felt like a heavy survival game when I played it instead of an MMO. It felt like a survival game because I guess originally it was supposed to be. And I'm sure somebody said, okay, we got to shift this. Maybe we'll make it more of an MMO game, and that's what happened. But there's a lot here, obviously, that was in this article that there was to unpack, and it's tough. These companies, Amazon, just throwing in the bank here and putting incompetent people in charge. I don't know. The other game that was released was Crucible. Crucible was like a weird battle arena styled game, and it was a shooter. I think it was supposed to be like a battle royale in some ways, and it shut down in November last year. And yeah, that game was apparently really bad. I don't know if anybody who played it from streams and such that had a good opinion of the game. There was like one game mode, I guess, that was good, from what I heard. So, okay, let's unless you have other things to say, let's move forward from this particular article. Now I'm moving to EA stuff. Okay. First thing is Mass Effect. So you posted this in here, obviously. Calibration's complete. Relive the legend of Commander Shepard, remastered in 4K Ultra HD. Legendary Edition launches May 14th. I actually didn't click this article. So I'm interested to see what platforms this is releasing on. Oh, here's a nice little comparison. So here's original Mass Effect 1, I imagine, because I can see this down here. And here's the enhanced version.
Oh, did they redo the UI completely?
Looks like they redid the UI. So if you look here, the UI in the original game was not particularly great. This UI is just, this is actually a much better UI on here.
And that's like the UI from 2 or 3.
Yeah, it looks great. The graphics obviously are much improved. This looks great. Actually, this is a good thing. Hopefully, this.
Yeah, Mass Effect 1 is a really good game in its own right, but it's a little bit clunky, the first Mass Effect.
It is. It 100% is. I'm trying to get the... Okay, so again, here's one more, by the way, comparison video. The right does look better, but I don't know if this is like the best video to showcase that. Let me see if there's another image.
This is a cutscene, so...
Oh, this is a great comparison image. Oh, this is great. Look at this.
Oh, wow, yeah, that looks way better.
That looks way better. Wow. Oh, so here's the Mako tank health bar thing on the bottom right here. That's interesting. They changed the UI for that. The radar is smaller too. Okay, and then one more image here. This is a Thane. Okay, they added a good amount more of detail. Wow. Yeah, a little more texture. Yeah, this is great. The left looked better on the tank? Really? I think the right looks way better. The textures are so much better on the right.
I mean...
Like... okay, yeah, the lens flares are... Yeah, the lens flares are a thing. Let me see if we can find... Oh, here we go. Mass Effect Legendary Cache. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, they didn't say what platforms. Did I miss that? Explore features.
Just click the pre-order thing. I'm sure you can find it there.
Okay. Origin, PlayStation, Xbox, Steam. Looks like Xbox One, PS4 compatible with next gen. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, okay, thoughts, Spoon.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was announced before. This is kind of the first we're really seeing of it, though. I mean, it looks good. The Mass Effect, the first 3 games are all really good in their own right. As I said, the first game is a little bit clunky, and there was an IGN article about this. I should have linked it in the doc, but I forgot.
It's okay. Sorry, 1 second. Price for the pre-purchase Legendary Edition for $60. There's also a Legendary Edition owner offer bundle. Wait. Isn't this all 3 games? Yeah, it's all 3 games. So
it's all 3 games.
Okay, so yeah, it's like, and then there's this bundle. I don't know what the full bundle is.
I don't.
Digital Deluxe Edition, Legendary Edition. Why would I want? I'm so confused.
You can buy the original old game as well. Like what?
I don't get that. $60 is the answer. By the way, try it.
$60.
Keep going, Spin. Sorry.
Yeah, so you're getting all 3 games, and from what I've heard, all the DLC from all 3 games in this bundle for $60. It's coming out May 14th.
Yep.
And yeah, from what I read in the IGN article, they are not making a next-gen version of this.
Okay.
So they're not going to make a specific PS5 or Xbox Series version for this.
Okay.
But obviously, you can play the
you can play, yeah, it's backwards compatible. Yeah.
So that's the thing, and they also said it seems like Mass Effect 1 they're making the most changes to, because as I said, Mass Effect 1 is clunky.
It's really clunky.
It's good, but it's clunky.
It's super clunky. Yeah.
Apparently, they did some not huge changes. There's still going to be the more RPG aspect to the shooting, where there's a little bit of RNG with the shooting, but with I guess sniper rifles, I think they said they were going to make a little more precise, basically. Okay. So, yeah, I think they narrowed the shot window a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said that. They said that they're basically made adjustments to cover, where it's the cover system was clunky in Mass Effect 1.
Correct.
So they probably brought it more in line with 2 and 3 as far as the cover system went. Same with the AI.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to control your AI. Apparently, they were just bringing it more in line with 2 and 3. You can tell your AI to do stuff.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
So yeah, just making improvements to Mass Effect 1's gameplay, but I don't think they're gonna change it that much. Other than that, and then 2 and 3, I doubt they'll make too many changes too, because those games were fine as they are. Apparently, they also said that Mass Effect 3 multiplayer is not going to be there. It's not in the game.
Oh, so they're going to have to make considerable changes to how the end game endings work out.
The war assets.
Yeah, the war assets, yeah.
Called.
So no multiplayer. Interesting that they removed that. Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
I thought the multiplayer by itself was pretty solid, but
yeah,
the fact that it was tied in was poo-poo.
But I didn't. Yeah, no, they did say that the multiplayer is not going to be there for Mass Effect 3, so if you're a fan of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, sorry, which it sounds like Raffle was.
We liked it. I mean, I thought we liked it.
I liked it, but it ended up being a grind after a while.
Sure.
I was like, okay, I actually have to do this to, get the best ending or whatever, which was stupid.
It would have been fun to play for a week when this game released. It would have been fun to play for a week, given we could get a group together. I think it would have been fun. But that's okay.
Yeah, I'm not that broken up about that. Again, the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3 felt like a EA sanctioned thing where, it was a point in gaming where every game had to have multiplayer, and EA was like, hey, you're putting multiplayer in this game, so buckle down and do it.
EA does that, dude. EA did it to Dead Space. They did it to this. That was the time, right? Both Mass Effect and Dead Space were kind of coming out at the same time. They did it to Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2's multiplayer was just fine, but the fact that it was in there was kind of weird. Same thing with Mass Effect 3. It was fine, just kind of weird.
Yeah, no, I agree. They did a pretty good job with Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. It was actually pretty fun, but I didn't like that it was tied to the story. That was really dumb.
I agree. I thought that was really silly.
So yeah, this is a good bundle. Again, I'm not sure I'll get it. I've played all 3 games before all the way through. It will be nice to see Mass Effect 1 improved because, again, I think Mass Effect 1 had my favorite story of the 3, overall main story. But the gameplay was a little clunky in Mass Effect 1.
I agree.
So, yeah, I'll be glad to see, especially for Mass Effect 1.
I will get this, and I will stream this on the channel, 100%.
Okay.
I will do that. I think I love these games so much. I've played these games so many times. I think just seeing the texture differences from 1, I'm already really excited and interested. I thought it was just going to be like, okay, we're not going to do many changes at all.
Just going to be a port. It's going to be a straight port.
Yeah. The visual changes already are really exciting me. I don't know if I'll get it for Steam or for Xbox One. I'm not 100% sure. I'd be happier to get it for Steam, but this is very cool. I'm excited for what I just saw with the texture changes. I thought going in that this was just gonna be like, okay, we're not gonna make many changes. We're just gonna cash grab this.
Yeah, we're just gonna bundle the 3 games together in one and throw them back at you and sell it again.
Yeah, for $60. I thought it would be that, but it doesn't appear that way for at least 1. I hope that they do make a few changes to 2 and 3 regarding some textures and things like that. I'm happy that all the DLCs are coming with this. I was really scared because it's EA. Obviously, they were gonna try and like package those outside of it. I haven't played some of the DLCs for some of these, so I'm really excited because that means that there's going to be DLC for 2. There's the Kasumi, or is it something like that? There's like a DLC for her. There's the Arrival DLC that I actually never played between 2 and 3. There's like a DLC in 3 that I never got to. There's like this extra DLC thing that I don't think I ever got to. I'm interested for sure. The Citadel DLC. That's it. I don't think I ever did that.
I don't think I played any of the DLC for 3 either. I played most of the DLC, if not all of it, for 2, but not for 3.
Yeah, and Shadow Broker was great. I enjoyed it. It was kind of short, but I enjoyed it. I'm super excited. I'm very interested. I'm glad that all the weapon packs and such are coming with it too. So, if this is done right, and they can remaster this and continue to show off those good changes for 1 and maybe make some good adjustments for 2 and 3. They're removing multiplayer from 3, which I think is good ultimately to get it out of the story relation. My worry, sadly, is if they wanted to do this really right, man, this would be tough. This would be tough. If they really wanted to do this right, they would actually do a tweak to the Mass Effect 3 Zen story. They're not gonna.
Yeah, they're not going to.
They're not going to, but I wish they would.
Yeah, I wish they'd change the ending too, because the ending's dog shit.
There's a couple things they could change where it would be tolerable. But this is interesting too. Andromeda's not in this, obviously, right? Because it's just the trilogy. It's the Mass Effect trilogy. Andromeda is a bigger game. I suppose they couldn't add that in here. That's a little bit too big.
When eventually, the next Mass Effect came out, that they already announced they're working on it. I feel like Andromeda is going to be the black sheep of this series. Where it's just going to be there, and they're going to try and forget that it ever existed, because the gameplay was fun, but man, that game was a mess.
I know. I actually was thinking at some point maybe to replay it just like briefly, because I know that a lot of the things have been improved with the game, not the story, but the actual experience has improved quite a bit. But man, yeah, that game was really disappointing. So I think any new Mass Effect games that come out, which I know they teased, they're just going to go right back into the universe that we know and love. Obviously, not the other galaxy or wherever they went. I don't remember where they went.
The Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah, they're going to stay in Milky Way, which is good. Yeah, just stay there.
Not the Andromeda galaxy.
Stay there. Get out of the Andromeda. Get out of the Andromeda galaxy. So I don't know. I'm excited. I actually am. I'm the images that I saw in this link were exciting.
Yeah, no, this looks good. It sounds like they're, sounds like the team working on this knows what to preserve and knows what to change for the. And again, I think the biggest changes are going to come for the first game, which again they should. The gameplay in the first game is a little bit clunky and it needs some tweaking, which it should. And I'm sure they can make a few improvements to the other 2 games as well. But.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have anything else to say.
These are great games. If you haven't played them, please pick this up and play these 3 games. These games are amazing. All 3 of them.
Three obviously has issues.
I have issues with 3, but the game as a whole is fun and it's good. Mostly, I have issues with the story in 3.
3's ending in particular was so bad. Oh god.
If they fix the gameplay in 1, the story is great in 1, and the characters in 2 are just incredible.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing. There were some funny meme characters in 3. What was his name? The guy you got? I don't remember his name. The one human character that you got. The guy. He was pretty funny. He was funny. The guy who did pull-ups while talking to you all the time. That guy was great.
Didn't he have I thought he had like a Latino name.
He did have a Latino name. I just don't remember what it is.
Or something like
I don't know. Somebody go in and find the name for me. That guy was hilarious. He just constantly do pull-ups with you, and while you're talking to him, he just keep doing pull-ups. It's like, guy, can you stop? He was funny. He was a silly guy. Okay. More EA stuff. College football is back. College football is back. James Vega. Thank you, James Vega. That's it. James Vega is it. What a silly dude. Okay. Spoon. College football is back. EA is bringing college football video gaming back. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. Thoughts?
I mean, I don't want EA Sports touching anything. EA Sports fucking sucks.
And yet,
is the worst.
They're touching it. So, tell me, did you ever play any of the college football games?
Just a little bit. I had a friend who was a pretty big college football fan, so I played it. But I don't really follow college football that much. I much prefer NFL.
The college football games, one of the fun parts about it, in my opinion, wasn't necessarily the football part of it. I mean, obviously, like, this is when I was in high school, so like EA Sports was still like, they put out actually, solid games. They're good games. They didn't have any of the like crappy microtransaction systems, so they actually put time and effort into specific modes that were really great in single player. The college football one,
and it was before EA had a monopoly on the NFL,
right,
and signed that exclusivity deal.
And college football, they didn't have a monopoly on either, because 2K was doing college football stuff, I believe. But the college football, the most fun part of it for me was like, you become like an athletic director or the coach of the school, and you do like the whole process. You recruit players and things. That was really fun. It was really fun. They had like certain players had specific traits. It was kind of fun to do the like quote unquote dynasty mode. I think it was what it was called, something like that. Because I would always pick like some random team like Hawaii, and within a couple like years, just put up the most ridiculously good football team ever. Like, it was kind of fun. I'll admit that was fun.
College football equivalent of franchise mode.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Fast forward to now. I'm not excited. I'm not excited for this. And I have one reason why. And it's not because it's specifically EA. They're going to shove some online garbage mode in here like my team. I don't know how they're going to do. They're going to do it. They're going to do some stupid card system or something.
Oh yeah, ultimate.
I don't know how they're going to do it though, but
in one way or another.
Oh god, it's going to be in here, and I don't know how. I don't know how they do it, but they'll find a way, because like, yeah, I mean, like with all the problems with college football, the reason why it left before is because obviously, like you're exploiting the players here. They can't use actual players. That's true, but they'll find a way. They'll find some way to put a card system in here. And it's going to be awful. I just know it. They're going to put something in here that's going to be completely toxic, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really not. I am also just not excited about college football video games. So I'm just the wrong person. I'm no longer excited about that. So, but I guess there were people that really liked college football video games. When they stopped making them...
College football in general, I don't know if it's more popular than the NFL, but it's certainly very, very popular. Mm-hmm. College football in general,
right?
NCAA football. Again, I don't know how much that translates to video games and video game sales, but we'll see. I mean, again, I hate EA Sports. Their business model with Ultimate Team is just the worst. They put no effort into any mode except Ultimate Team. They strip features out of the game. The games are buggy. Honestly, the graphics are complete fucking dog shit. The animations are a mess. And yeah, no, exactly. The game will be trash, and it will sell well because it's a football game.
Yep. No, it will. It's going to sell extremely well. And I personally am not interested, but like there are a lot of people that love not just college football, but the college football games, the video games. Like when that stopped being produced, for obvious reasons, there were a lot of disappointed folks. So this is a big deal. And again, they're going to do something toxic in this, and I just don't even know how it's going to work. Like. The reason that they got in trouble is because you weren't paying the players, and
they're not allowed to use the likeness.
They're not allowed to use the likeness of the players. So, like, how does this work? Are they going to have to like actually pay for this kind of stuff?
I don't know how it's gonna work, and I don't know what the rules are. If like, could they use their names but not their faces? Could they use their faces but not their names? Can they not use any of it? Or is it just going to be all made up fictional stuff where, it's college football, so you have all the teams you want, but it's all just fictional players, and you still have, your franchise mode where you can build up your dynasty and recruit players. But again, I don't think the appeal is there as much if you don't have the real players. Part of the appeal of Madden is taking your favorite team and using your favorite players from your favorite team.
Yeah, I don't know how they're like fixing the legal issues that came with it, but I mean, we'll see. I'm curious to see how they fixed it, like what they did. This is the EA Sports college account, which there's like one or two tweets. Who are they following? Oh, it's just EA Sports. Okay, it's just like who the frick is this thing following? So I don't know. I don't have any other thoughts. Like they're gonna do some scumbag crap in this game, and I'm not interested in it.
Same. I mean, I will never. I will not buy Madden again until they fix it, and that's not happening anytime.
That's not happening, dude. They're not gonna fix that thing. Okay, this one I put on here specifically because obviously Overwatch League is a meme, but with COVID, obviously there are a lot of travel complications. Event planning has obvious issues, and some of the Overwatch League teams were going to be going and spending the season in China and Korea, and it's said here in the article. And one particular team, Los Angeles Valiant, which is owned by Immortals, the Valiant ended up dropping their entire roster and coach. I don't know if about the coaching staff too, but they dropped their entire. Oh no, they did drop the staff too. The players and staff. So we want to thank all the players and staff moving on today from the LA Valiant due to COVID-related visa issues as we prepare to compete in China this season. We've worked to facilitate the best available next steps for our players and staff and wish them all the best moving forward. They did this before they were leaving, is my understanding. Before they were leaving to China, they did this. So they dropped the team, and they're going to get a new team, obviously, in China, and my guess is they're going to get players in China, or I don't know if they're specifically China and Korea, but and so a lot of people were concerned about this because I guess there was some rumor going around that maybe Immortals or Valiant were going to be like a Chinese team now. There was like a lot of weird stuff that happened, but the big focus for me was like before the event, you dropped your entire team and staff. Just like bam. You can't seriously make me believe that you're working to facilitate the best available next steps in good faith if you do that.
No.
That's really messed up. I don't know what the tweet I don't think has been doing quite well. So, like, but, I mean, this is XQC specifically, but this is just, like, it's a garbage thing. He's basically, look, this is garbage PR. This is garbage. This is a terrible decision. It's not a good idea. You didn't give them the players and staff the benefit here. You drop them right before the start. Like, I don't know. Like, Immortals as an esports team also has gotten a lot of bad rep for other things specifically of late, but they're not the only team. The two divisions or the conferences of Overwatch League, they're going into different places and they're competing at those specific places. And Valiant was part of the East group. So teams in the East group will spend the season in China and Korea. The Valiant is one of the teams headed to China with the East group, except the team is being left behind in the move. So, like, the players and staff are being left behind. They are not the only team with visa issues. This is clearly a stunt on the team to just, like, to get rid of these players and staff, maybe for cash reasons, and they can get maybe cheaper players somewhere else. Or maybe they don't want to pay for any of the visa issues or anything like that. Maybe they just don't want to deal with the visa stuff or pay for travel. I mean, like, there's a lot of weird things that I'm thinking of. And, like, this is garbage, okay? They also say, we look forward to having LA Valiant join NYXL and the Philadelphia Fusion in bringing more live Overwatch League content to the passionate fan base in Asia during this logistically challenging year. This is true. This is a challenging year for everybody. But you can't expect me personally to believe that the best choice was to just get rid of all the players and staff and say, oh yeah, we'll help you find new opportunities, I guess. That seems so scummy. I only put this in here because I saw this last week. I think Overwatch League is a meme, but, like, this is a shitty thing. Like, if this happened in League, you bet your ass everybody would be going nuts. It just so happens that because it's Overwatch League, like, maybe 10 people care, and I'm one of those 10 people. I don't know if the team was bad or not, by the way. So go ahead.
This feels like the owners, the people at the top, just pinching pennies. They're like, yeah, we just don't want to pay for whatever this is. We'll find new players over in China, and yeah, fuck this. Like,
yeah,
we're out.
I really don't know if the team was bad or not, but I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters in this case. It
doesn't matter.
It's just this is garbage. It's such, like, a garbage move. I used to remember when Immortals was, like, the darling of esports teams. They're, like, the big team, like, in League and all this, like, people love them. And all I've heard of late is they are a shitty organization now. That's all I'm hearing from them, from people around. They're just like
Immortals. I guess okay. So
they dropped their previous CEO. The previous CEO stepped down. Yeah, okay. His name was Noah, and a new person came in, and, like, apparently it's just been all downhill from here. Then from there, it's just been all downhill.
New person's just an asshole, dude.
Probably. It's just like they're apparently they're just like, and in League too, like, fuck, they're a joke. I'm sure they're just, like, they're trying to save as much money as possible. Like, but this is a garbage move, and, you know, I'm glad people were calling them out on it and saying you're being shitty for doing this, and I added that there for this reason, because I can't let these types of things just slide by. I don't care if it's Overwatch League, which is a meme. Okay. Let's see. The last thing I have is more of a personal gripe, and I want to rant about it. This is a Genshin Impact message.
Oh, yeah, this.
I am upset. I'm very upset right now with this game. Specifically because the character Barbara in the game, and I'm not the only one that's upset, by the way. Barbara, her voice lines, they were really good. They were well said. And she as a character felt like a really exciting, fun character because she was just so enthusiastic about everything. Whenever you're using, like, an ability or some kind of attack, she's just, like, so enthusiastic and charming. Okay? I love the voice lines. They changed the voice lines in the new update. Go ahead.
Barbara? No, her character, I haven't read too much of her character story, so I don't really understand, but she's a nun, or,
Yeah.
priest of some sort, but she's also like an idol singer, so I don't quite understand how that works. But
still, whatever. The point is, if you're an idol singer, you probably got some exciting personality. Yeah,
pep in your step.
Okay, so I'm going to try and put the volume up on this. So we're going to get original voiceover and new voiceover for these attacks and things like that. Okay, so I think this is old voiceover first and then new voiceover. Okay, here we go.
I'll protect us. I'll protect us. Let's dance. Let's dance. Let the show begin.
Okay.
Let the show begin.
A couple more.
Go, Barbara, go. Go, Barbara, go.
Okay.
Come on, we can do it. Come on, we can do it.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop right there because I'm already getting a little upset. The old one sounds like Diva. A little bit, yeah, sure. But the point is, the old voice line sounds good, enthusiastic. It makes sense for the character actually when you're playing as the character. I mean, this character's an idol, and whenever actually you do attacks next to people, they like clap and are really excited. So it kind of makes sense. Everything makes sense. It's put together well, and now the new voice line sounds like the character's about to go to sleep. It actually sounds like the character's about to go to sleep. I don't understand the change.
Come on, we can do it.
It's just like terrible. And I'm not the only one that feels this way. The Genshin community, if you don't like Genshin Impact, totally get it, whatever. But the community, I don't know of anybody that likes this change in particular. I don't know what the change was for. I also want to say that people harassing the voice actor for this, don't harass the voice actor, please.
Not her fault.
It's not specifically her fault. These lines are just not delivered well for this character, and I'm not going to blame the voice actor specifically.
Which is not, it's not the voice actor's fault, it's the director's fault. The director should be telling the voice actor, if they wanted more like the original set, more enthusiasm. Go, Barbara, go! Let's dance!
To answer Try Courage in chat, we don't know the reason why the voice actor changed. Specifically, I'm trying to figure out if they tweeted about it yet, but there's been no word as to why the voice actor has changed. People, obviously including myself, are confused as to why the change was made, and it's not a good change. Like, these lines are just poorly delivered for this character right now, and whoever was directing needs to do a better job of directing a character's voice lines like this. It's not the voice actor's fault, really. And people who are saying things to the voice actor or being an asshole to the voice actor, yeah, go fuck yourself. That's not the right thing to do. I'm just super confused, and I just wanted to I wanted to sound off on this.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to hear from MiHoYo on this one as to why they did this. Why did they... My only guess, and I said this to you earlier during your stream when we talked about this a little bit, is that maybe they had some new lines for Barbara for something somewhere in the story or something in the new patch, and they couldn't get the old voice actress to do it.
Possibly.
So they just revoiced everything with a new voice actress.
I can understand getting a new voice actress in here. Oh, it's the same voice actress, really?
Then that makes literally
no sense then.
That they had her change her inflection completely for her battle quotes.
That makes no sense. Yeah, that makes no sense. The voice actress, I saw that tweet from her. Again, nobody should be going after her or anything. It's bullshit that people are going after her.
Yeah, these are probably just old takes from somewhere that they didn't use before, and they decided to maybe it's a bug. Honestly, maybe it's a bug.
Oh, I hope it's a bug. I hope it gets fixed immediately. I hope they immediately switch this back. It's terrible.
Honestly, now I'm thinking it's a bug that it's some old code that they put in there accidentally.
Some asset was in there. Yeah.
Some old asset, because these just sound like old takes or something that they didn't use, and they just got slotted in there somehow. I hope this is a bug.
I hope it's a bug.
If it's the same voice actress, it makes literally no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and it upsets me more also for the voice actors. I'm sure she's like, why did you change it? It makes me seem like I'm doing a bad job now. I feel so bad for this voice actress. It's not her fault, and everybody's going to dogpile onto MiHoYo and her. I had to sound off on that. That, like, yesterday when I was playing, that was the first thing I noticed, actually. I used her ability, and I was like, what is that? That's not her voice. And then I did more abilities, and the realization set in, where I was like, oh, this character that I actually love these voice lines and the abilities for the character. I actually was depressed. I was like, man, this sucks. I don't want to use this character anymore. This is a boring character now. So, for me, it's a big deal. I think for a lot of other people, we're just confused. Like, we just want an explanation.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it, for sure.
People are just like, yo, Mihoyo, what the fuck?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Why'd you change this?
What are you doing? Okay, so as far as game news is concerned, obviously we spent a lot of time on it, but that's what we had for the week. And at this point, actually, I would like to hear your thoughts on East so far, if that's okay. And after that, we'll like have some other stuff I'm sure we'll chat about, because this is a big month, by the way, for game releases, right? I distinctly recall, and I'll pull up while you're talking about Yeast. I will pull up the document that I had.
The Mario World comes out next Friday, maybe something like that, around there. I don't remember.
I'm finding it right now.
Persona 5 Strikers comes out on the 22nd, which is in 3 weeks, or the 23rd, which is in 3 weeks.
Yep, and then, so you're correct on the 23rd, yep.
And Bravely Default 2 comes out on the 26th, which is the Friday of that same week.
Correct. I'm going to also update this Mass Effect Trilogy thing, because it's not March, it's May.
That was a rumor.
Yeah, that was a rumor, yeah. So, go ahead and talk about... I know, right after I got the Barbara display. Like, are you kidding me? Talk about Ys a little bit. You got 4 or 5 hours into it.
Yeah. With today, it's probably between 5 and 6, actually. But anyways, yeah, Ys 9 Monstrum Nox just came out yesterday on Tuesday. I was lucky; it was delivered in the afternoon, around noon or so. And Otto was a little swamped yesterday, so most of you, I think, saw that I was streaming the game for pretty much the entire afternoon yesterday. Yeah, maybe like 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of... If you've played Ys before, especially Ys 8, I mean, yeah. Yeah, because Ys 8 was the first one that was, like, fully 3D. So if you played Ys 8, you kind of know what you're getting here. Same combat system. But this time it takes place in the prison city of Balduke. And, yeah, the game starts with you just get arrested for pretty much no reason.
Okay, hold on. Prison city?
It's a big city.
Okay.
It's a big city called Balduke, but the big attraction, quote unquote, of the city is it has this very large and sophisticated prison.
That's an attraction. Okay, I'm interested already just because, like, oh, that's an attraction, really? Keep going. I'm sorry, keep going.
I mean, it's not like people visit the city to see the prison.
Right. I mean, I guess it's a big thing. I guess
it's a famous prison. Okay. You know, like Alcatraz or something.
Okay, it's like okay, you know, that makes more sense.
It's a famous prison.
Okay.
The city is famous for this prison. And the game. I mean, the way the game starts is you're escaping prison at the very beginning of the game with the initial tutorials.
Okay.
And then you get through sort of the initial, mini dungeon in the tutorial, and you run into this mysterious lady who's clad in like green, and she has this wing, and she shoots you with a gun.
Oh.
And turns you into what is called a monstrum, gives you some new powers.
Interesting.
Get some cool duds, and yeah, you get these, like, I don't know, all the other monstrums have, some of them at least have animal-like characteristics. You don't really, but Adol's is called the Crimson King. Okay. And each one of them have what they call a gift, which is a special, I assume, movement ability for the most part.
Okay.
Adals is basically, it's called Crimson Line, but it's basically like a hook shot. It's like
okay.
There are certain areas that you can just teleport to, basically using Crimson Line. But it's restrictive. It's only, you have to see the little red glow to be able to do it. You can't do it anywhere. It's programmed by the game, the places you can use Crimson Line. So, and yeah, it turns out that, so because of your new Monstrum powers, you're now stuck in the city because of these barriers tied to the Monstrum powers, and you have to discover the secrets of the city, which are tied to the prison in some way. And there's this alternate world called the Grimoire Nox, where these crazy nightmare demons attack you, and that's the setting for the new raid battles in this one.
Yep.
It's like an alternate dimension, and that's tied to the Monstrums. The story is intriguing so far. It doesn't really make any sense yet, but I think that's intentional.
Of course it does. It's a JRPG. It's not supposed to make sense right away. It's not supposed to.
So far, we're just sort of exploring the city and the prison and trying to figure out, like, what's going on. What are these Monstrums? What is this, like, Nox, Grimoire Nox reality? And what's going on with the prison? The prison, apparently, up till recently, I don't think they gave a time frame, but they would post in the city, when someone was arrested, the reason that they were arrested, and they stopped doing that, and apparently they've just been arresting people for literally no reason.
Oh, cool.
So
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, you're in this city after you break out of prison with your good buddy Dogi, and
my man Dogi.
You're laying low, and yeah, it must be a private prison. You're right. And you're laying low, just trying to discover what's going on with the city and the prison. And again, you are trapped in the city and the surrounding area. At least for where I'm at right now, you're trapped in the city, but there are surrounding areas that you're going to be able to go to eventually. Yeah, the entire game does not take place in the city. I know there are surrounding areas that you can get to, but I think the early part of the game, maybe even the first half, is just going to be in the city, basically. There are these, not invisible barriers, but there are literally like magic barriers on sections of the city. When you run around, it's like, yeah, you can't go here because there's a freaking magic barrier here. And again, there's a story explanation for it, but it's just like the game doesn't want you to go there yet,
yeah. No, it's fine.
You can't go there.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the crux of the story so far. It's a little bit of a slower starter than Ys 8 or other Ys games. It kind of, after the tutorial where you're escaping the prison, there's a relatively long section of just like dialogue, talking to people. You get a flashback to when Adol gets first arrested, and then he's in prison for a bit, and you meet another inmate, and he helps you escape a little bit.
Okay.
And there's some more story stuff you meet the other 5 Monstrums who all have an alias like you. You're Crimson King. There's White Cat, Raging Bull, Hawk. Is it just Hawk? I think it's just Hawk.
Okay.
There's Doll, and there's Renegade.
Okay. Feel bad for Hawk.
And yeah,
it's like Raging Bull. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Raging Bull's actually a woman, by the way.
Oh. Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she well, she's well endowed. We'll just
I see. I see.
But yeah, it's a little bit of a slower starter. You kind of have to explore the city a little bit before you can do anything, and there's a couple of like early quests where you just kind of have to walk around and talk to people. And your party is much slower to get together as well. I'm through chapter 2, and again, I'm 4 or 5 hours in, and I only have one other party member so far, and that's White Cat.
Oh my.
Whereas again, in Ys 8, there's the early section where you're on the boat. You kind of have to walk around and talk to people a bit, and then the boat gets shipwrecked. You get stranded on the island, and you pretty quickly start fighting stuff, and you meet Laxia, and then you kind of just go around and start exploring.
Yeah. It is pretty quick.
So yeah, and as I said, the combat's kind of the same as it has been. The one, I guess, I guess there's a few small deviations. One is with your gift, Crimson Line. You can use Crimson Line to, if you're locked onto an enemy, you can just hook shot yourself to the enemy.
Oh, that's nice. That's actually super
so
nice.
If the enemy runs away from you, you can Crimson Line yourself over.
That's super nice for a game like this. That's super nice.
There is like a gift meter, so there's a.
Oh, okay.
So you can use it once, and then it takes only a few seconds to recharge. There's a short cooldown before you can do it again, basically, in combat. And out of combat, again, Crimson Line, you can hook yourself up to areas that they want you to hook up onto. But then the second party member, the next party member, you get White Cat. She just has the ability to wall run, so you can, once you get her, you can just run up walls.
Oh, that's nice. that's super nice.
Much less restrictive than Crimson Line. So that the game is really cool in terms of like this. I get like the environments are very drab so far. It's just a big city. It's just a lot of gray stone walls and stuff like that. And the couple of dungeons we've been through are just like sewers and underground passages. So in terms of compared to East 8, which is a tropical mystical island, which was a really cool environment to explore, this one is very uninteresting so far in terms of the actual environment.
Yeah, sure.
But the content is interesting because of the new verticality of the game with Crimson Line, and now wall running, there's plenty of chests and landmarks and other collectibles that are hidden up on buildings in nooks and crannies that you obviously wouldn't be able to get to without these new sort of movement abilities. Yeah, Hawk's ability I believe is a glide. So similar to Breath of the Wild or like Genshin's glide.
Oh, wow.
Where it's kind of a slow descent type thing. He was in the demo, so I've seen that one as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so far there was the prologue, and then Chapter 1, which are kind of the introduction, and then Chapter 2 was White Cat's story, and Chapter 3, the title of it is like Hawk's Fury or something like that. So I assume we'll get Hawk in Chapter 3, and it'll be a little bit about his story.
Got it.
So yeah, the story is intriguing so far. It doesn't really make a lot of sense yet, but again, it's a JRPG. It's not meant to.
Yeah, it's not meant to.
We'll get more. I like the exploration of the city. Again, it's a little bit slower starter. The combat's still basically the same with the exception of Crimson Line. You have your basic attacks, and you have your skills. You have Flash Guard, you have Flash Move, and you have your super in this one is a little bit different. They changed the way it works. As opposed to just being a super attack that you execute when you use your super meter, you get a power-up. Basically, when you activate your super, you get an enhanced character that I assume does more damage. You recover you recover SP more quickly. I think you recover HP as well. And then at any point during your super, you can activate your actual super attack, which drains the rest of the meter.
I see. You
kind of want to activate your power up, and then when the meter's about to run out, you
just go. Yeah, you just go super. Attack. Makes sense.
The game is rather easy so far. None of the enemies have been too challenging, and I'm playing on hard, but there are so many difficulties. There's easy, normal, hard, nightmare, inferno, and lunatic. So there's 6 difficulties to choose from. I picked hard because in a couple of reviews that I saw early on the game, they said the game was painfully easy on normal. So I picked hard. And even on hard, it's not too bad yet. So yeah. I mean, the game is fun. If you've played East before, you kind of know what to expect. They've had a couple new wrinkles with the movement abilities, but that's about it. It's fun to explore the city. The dungeons are fun. The music is good. You got your typical East bangers when you're in the dungeons.
Yep.
Not quite as banger or catchy as East 8's music, at least yet for me, but still good. And yeah, it's good. I mean, I'm sure you like East 8, so I'm sure you'll like this game once you get around to it.
East 8 was super fun. Only good thoughts. The only thing I didn't like was the raid system. So the fact that it's semi-present again makes me a little concerned, because that was like by far and away the worst part of that game, was why that was there. I'm hoping it's not the same way that it is in this game. That mechanically, like, the game just bothers you when there's a new raid. It's like, hey, there's a new raid. That part I hated, but yeah, the game itself I really like East 8. It was very fun. So I'm glad you're having a good experience so far. My guess is if it's anything like East 8, you're not going to get any story information till like the last quarter of the game. That's what East 8 felt like. It was like, oh, I see all the information is being provided in the last quarter of the game. Thank you.
Yeah. At least the first half of East 8, if not more than that, was just, you're stranded on an island, so you're trying to get off the island. That's the story of at least the first half of the game. Yeah. You don't really start getting the story of the game until you get Donna in your party, which is maybe even over halfway through the game.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while, for sure. So, I mean, that's good. Like, hopefully the game, just keeps getting better. I know that you had said that the East 9 wasn't reviewed as well as East 8 from people, but
I don't know about reviewed, but the general consensus among the community, at least from the original Japanese release, was that it was not as good as East 8.
Okay, well then, yeah. When I mean review, I mean just like general opinion. Yeah. General opinion then is it's not as good as East 8, but
though apparently with the original Japanese release there were a number of technical issues, and those mostly seem to have been ironed out in this one. There is a little bit of framiness in the city when you're running around, and there's a lot of stuff on screen, but other than that, it's fine.
Okay. Hopefully it's not too... Yeah, the technical issues, hopefully they're not too bad, but yeah, if they've ironed them out since the Japanese release, that's good, obviously.
Yeah, the Japanese release was over a year ago. It was 2020?
Or 2019?
2019 September, wow. I think.
Wow.
So it's been almost a year and a half since the original Japanese release.
That's long. That's quite some time. So, but that's good, man. That's good that it's good so far. I mean, the only time I'm ever going to pick up something like this is when I'm done with school at this point, because school right now is, yesterday, as I told you, it's just like a lot of videos, and when every video is 30 minutes long, I can turn it to 1.5 speed, but every video is 30 minutes long, so that's, yeah. He's older than COVID, but released here only now. Yeah, that's pretty, I mean, that's just localization, man. It can take a while for sure, especially if you've got smaller groups.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing the game on the podcast stream. I think for the most part, I may do some off stream. I don't think it'll be like the entire playthrough will be on stream, but I'll try and get the main stuff at least on stream. Like I may do some. I'm in kind of a segment of the game when I stop today where I just need to do a bunch of side quests.
Oh yeah, do side quests off stream.
I'll probably do that off stream, but once I get back to the main story, we'll bring it back on stream. And if you guys are liking what you're seeing from East 9, I definitely recommend you check out East 8 and or East Memories of Celceta, which are the two more the most recent releases since 9, before 9.
Right.
Both are really good games. Memories of Celceta is a remake of East 4, but they modernized it. And East 8 is just East 8. Celceta is more the older style. It's not full 3D like 8 or 9, but it's an isometric view. They are mostly standalone. I talked about this on stream, but I think I may have talked about it before, but they are mostly standalone. The stories are told in a way that these are all sort of chronicles in Adol's adventure log.
Right.
Each game is a different story in a different segment of the world, a different adventure. So each game has its own standalone story. There are some recurring characters. Dogi is a recurring character. Yeah. He's Adol's constant travel companion. He's there in almost every game. There's one of them I know where he is actually a party member, but most of the time he's just kind of there. And there are sometimes references to the other games. Like there was a line today, I think when Adal was talking to Dogi, there was an option. It was something along the lines like, "Oh, you mean like the Isle of Seiren?" Well, the Isle of Seiren was the location of Ys 8. So if you didn't play Ys 8, you wouldn't know that. But for the most part, you do not have to play the previous games or any of the other games to play Ys 9 or Ys 8 or any of the other ones. Again, you may miss a couple of references. There is a character from Celceta that actually shows up in Ys 8, but again, you're not going to miss too much if you don't know that. For the most part, the characters are new and the games are standalone, with the exception of, again, Adal, who's the main character, and Dogi, who's his traveling companion.
His buddy.
Yeah, so you can start anywhere. The older games are a little bit of a pain, to be honest. The ones I'd recommend would be like, I haven't played 7, but I've heard it's good. I think 7 was the first one that had a party-based system. All the other ones were you just play as Adal.
Oh, interesting.
But you have 7, 8, 9, and then Memories of Celceta, which all use the party-based system. 8 and 9 are full 3D, while I believe 7 and Celceta are isometric. They're all on Steam as well, except for 9 is not on Steam yet, but it will be eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if they look interesting to you, give them a shot. They're fun, and they're not terribly long either. Usually,
no, they're not. They're like Ys 8 was like 40 hours, maybe.
Yeah, I think it took me about 50, but I damn near 100% at the game.
Yeah, so. It's like a 40-hour game if you just go through it.
And Celceta's probably like 20 to 30. It's a little bit shorter.
These are definitely shorter JRPG games. But they're not. They're definitely good games, though. They're super fun. They're super fun. Music's good.
Yep.
So, yeah. I mean, no. It's like I said. Once school's over, this semester's shaping up to be a lot of. Let's just say it's a lot of work. Not hard, just a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, we got a little bit of time left. You had some stuff with the KH Rando tournament. Did you want to talk about that real quick?
I'll just mention it.
Okay, mention it. Go ahead.
There's another tournament that is coming up. It's going to start this weekend with another qualifier. See, this is going to be a little bit of a bigger tournament that spans out over a number of weeks, if not months.
Okay. Is the way they did? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
The way they did this last time is they didn't have qualifiers. They just took the first 64 people that signed up, and they did a 64 player tournament. It was single elimination until top 8, and then top 8 was double elimination.
Okay.
This time they're letting as many people sign up as they want, and they're going to do 4 qualifier seeds over the weekend. 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday.
4? Oh.
And it will be top 64 out of, again, I don't know how I assume they're going to try to divide the qualifiers as evenly as possible, and then hopefully top 16 from each qualifier make it into top 64 and then into the bracket. And I don't know what the bracket format's going to be from there, if it's going to be double elimination all the way, single elimination all the way, or if they'll do a split like they did last time where it's like, top 8 or top 16 maybe goes to double elimination.
Sure.
But single before that.
4 qualifiers and still. Yeah, I mean, this 4 qualifiers. So they're just taking. Do they take your best time, or do they like take the all your times?
Each person can only play in one of the 4 qualifiers.
Oh, you can only play in one. Okay, so it's okay. Got it.
I think each one will be a different seed as well.
Okay, got it. That makes sense.
They don't want people to be able to watch the previous qualifier and see what the seed is going to be.
Yeah,
if they're playing it.
That makes. I was like, damn, 4. You got to do 4 different things. Like, fuck.
No, yeah, one qualifier per person. They spread it out off 4 different times just to help accommodate people's schedules a little bit better.
That makes sense.
Obviously, there were still complaints for some people that they couldn't make it, but so it goes. Yeah, I mean, there's. Yeah, so I don't know. I signed up for it. they have not announced yet who's in which qualifier, but the 4 times are they're Saturday and Sunday at, what is it? It's 2 Eastern and 7 Eastern on Saturday.
Early and late. Yeah, early and late.
So yeah, I want to do. So for me, Pacific time, I signed up. Basically, my first choice was Saturday at 11 Pacific, which would have been 2 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Second choice was Sunday at 11 Pacific. Third choice was Saturday at 4 Pacific. But I really hope I get my first choice Saturday at 11 Pacific.
Okay.
2 Eastern. So yeah, I will be playing in that. I'm feeling pretty good lately about the way I've been playing. I played in a big race on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a casual fun race. Kind of a long seed, but I officially got second in the race, but I actually won because my game actually crashed 8 minutes and 20 seconds into the run, and I had to restart.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, I had to restart the seed. Well, my game crashed around 6 or 7 minutes, and it took me like a minute.
Yeah,
to
so officially
reset
speaking,
everything and get going again.
Yeah.
And I lost by 7 minutes and 15 seconds, but I lost 8 minutes and 20 seconds because of the crash. So I should have won the race.
Sure.
So I was proud of myself,
Yeah. Dude, that's
I should have won the race, but
get those
I got
positives,
second.
Dude. You gotta get the positives. So
that was a confidence booster after doing honestly pretty poorly in the last tournament, the qualifier. Mm-hmm. We did not do well there. I kind of got screwed over by that seed, but it's rando. That's how it goes. Sometimes you go to the wrong place and you get screwed over.
Oh, absolutely.
That's part of the game.
It can happen. It can happen. Some people will get really fortunate with their decision making, and others just like it's not even a right or wrong decision. A lot of times it's just like, okay, well, I'm just going to take a shot here. And sometimes you get a good hit. Other times you just, unfortunately, nothing really works as you plan. So that stuff can definitely happen. So hopefully you'll let everybody know when you're doing that this weekend, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, hopefully morning for you, so that you can not have to potentially miss dinner, get caught up with dinner time. Otto would get so lucky with KH randos. I doubt it. I really doubt it. My gacha luck is a product of my patience. I'm going to say that for Genshin. My gacha luck in Xenoblade is just definitely a product of poor luck. But for Genshin, I'm very patient.
You weren't especially lucky today with your pulls. It took, 60 pulls to get
It took 60. It took 60. But the fact of the matter is, I saved for that.
And your pulls, I didn't see any pulls before that were especially good. You got a couple with 2 4-stars, but none of them were especially good before if I get a
4-star character, that's good. Because you don't obviously want the stupid 4-star weapon pulls. Those are garbage, right? So if I get a character, I can at least say, okay, I got a constellation boost. That's that's better.
I mentioned this in the server, but I did finally pull Ganyu on Monday.
You got the RAM. The RAM. That was fortunate because that was definitely last second, right?
If I didn't get her on that pull, I was close enough to pity that I was gonna spend a little bit of money. I think it would have taken two more 10 pulls and I would have gotten pity.
Oof.
So I would have spent a little bit of money. I was not going through all that to not get either Albedo or Ganyu.
That would have been, oh my god. Mihoyo almost got you.
I might have fucking quit Genshin.
Mihoyo almost got you, dude. Mihoyo almost got you. They almost got you good. But yeah, dude. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming out. I'm excited. Obviously, I can't do much with school and all that, and I still got Xenoblade, right? But I'm excited with the Mass Effect stuff. I'm very intrigued that there are making the changes to Mass Effect 1. That's really, really awesome. And Mario, I don't know. Oh my god, I totally want to play Mario though. Oh, it's painful. It's painful, dude. It's painful, man. But it's how it goes with school. It sucks, dude. Anyway, Any other stuff? Otherwise, I'm tapped out of things to talk about. I mean, I've been playing Genshin. I told you the secret of the boss. Just bring Noelle. Just bring Noelle and hit the shield button.
Your shield.
You'll win the fight. Just hit the shield button.
I don't have any character who uses shields leveled up like at all.
It doesn't matter. 20. Just have Noelle be there. I think the idea is if the shield is up, it automatically counters. It doesn't matter. So just bring Noelle if she's like level 1 and just shield and switch to somebody else because the shield is persistent. So just shield and move on. It's crazy. The boss, he takes like a sixth of his health bar away if you shield.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I will say that the gem rewards that you get are actually pretty good. You get good rewards for fighting that guy, even if it's like a different combination.
Which one you're gonna get.
That's true. That's the problem. I think I'm thinking part of it is based on what element he is. Like the better gem is going to be the element that he is, but still, like you get some good gems from him. So if you just like want to accumulate a bunch of stuff, like just fight him. Sure. I guess
you don't have anything better to do with your resin. It's like okay,
just fight. Just get all the gems from this guy. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, any other stuff? Otherwise, we'll bring this down. Yeah, a bit.
I mean the new Genshin patches. There's not much in it.
There's really not much in it.
It's very light. There's this new boss. There was that story quest. I haven't done it yet, but I assume it's not that long.
Take pictures, dude.
There's the new pictures event. There's going to be the Lantern Rite Festival, which I think starts next week.
Yep.
I assume that's for like Chinese New Year, basically.
Yes, I would say yes. That is definitely that. And you get a free character from that. You get a 4-star. You get a free 4-star from a pool of like 6.
4-star.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Other than that, I've been on a little bit of an anime binge lately.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, I've been watching a little bit of weeb stuff. You haven't started watching Your Lie in April with Kate yet, have you?
No, absolutely not. No, what's happened? I won't go into it because there's not a lot of time. No, Kate. So Kate and I found a Netflix TV show, and it's called Someone Feed Phil. Okay, it's like this guy travels. Okay, he travels around the world to different places, and he has the food there. Kate loves these kinds of food shows. We've been watching this food show. The guy is so weird, but he's just like so outgoing and crazy, and he's got these huge eyes. He's just like funny because he's a weird dude. But Kate really likes the show. I think it's kind of just funny and silly. Also, that food looks real good. So we're not watching Your Lie in April. We're watching this food show for a while. She really likes it. That's what I do.
Fair enough.
Dude, it's just sometimes we'll find this random show and it's like a food show, and we'll binge the hell out of that. That's how it works, man.
Well, yeah, whatever. You should get to Your Lie in April eventually. Oh my gosh. It's good. It's very good. Try wants to know what I've been watching. The main thing I watched, I watched the 2 seasons so far that exist of a rom-com anime called Kaguya-sama Love is War.
Oh god.
And it's actually really funny, and the characters are really good. The characters are really good too.
I assume this is like Dodge. I just assume this is Dodge's doing. Dodge got you into some anime, and now you're hooked.
Pretty much.
Yeah, of course it is. It's Dodge and probably Mason too. They're like roping you into it. Cruz, can I just hold on a second?
It is not Moe trash. Get the fuck out of here.
I just want to say something. Kuru says one thing when he stops by, and it's literally about a weeb show. Kuru's the biggest freaking weeb I know. Kuru might be the biggest weeb I know. Unbelievable.
Right, I will tell you the premise of the show. The premise of the show is that our titular character, Kaguya, is, of course they're high schoolers, and she is the student council vice president.
Oh, God.
And she is the daughter of a very wealthy Japanese family. She's, a genius, yada yada. And she has a crush on the president of the student council, who is also a very smart individual, but is he's not from a wealthy Japanese family. He's kind of a middle class kid, but he's really smart and he studies really hard. And they both have a crush on each other, but they have decided to themselves that they are too prideful to admit to the other that they like the other. So it's called Love is War because they are trying to force the other one to confess their love. And shenanigans ensue.
I have nothing to say.
I actually think you would like it. I think you would think it's really funny.
It's just like that's such a ridiculous. Oh my god. They have to go make fun of them for their love. I don't know. It's like, oh my god, it's such a high school concept too. It's like, of course somebody in high school would do this. So ridiculous. I have no words. I'm sure I will think it's funny, but god, that is, that concept already is just making me think, what a high school thing to do. It's like, oh, well, we're clearly have a crush on each other, and maybe we can tell that, but I'm gonna wait for the other to say so. It's like, who cares?
No, they're too prideful.
They're too prideful. Okay, they're too prideful.
They're too prideful to confess their love.
Okay, whatever. I have nothing to say about that. I'm sure it is funny. And the
opening, by the way, for both seasons, bangers, so good. I know you hate openings, but
I'm skipping every single one. You know I will. You're gonna be like, we gotta watch the first one. I was like, nah, it's a waste of 2 minutes.
Nah, it's okay. Once we're done with,
it's a waste of 2 minutes.
Once we're done with Lord of the Rings, I'll show this for movie night.
Oh no!
I'll be in control, so you can't skip the opening.
No! I'll just tune out. I'll just mute Defen and just like go do something. You're a waste of 2 minutes. I might ban him. I might ban Kuru. Such a freaking weeb. Anyway, okay. Look, we gotta wind down seriously because I gotta hop to class pretty soon. So. To end, let's do a speed conclusion. Please keep liking and commenting on our YouTube videos. The merch is pretty cool. Really, this is a super comfy shirt. You should consider getting it just because it's cool. And it would be a nice support to us. You can, obviously with COVID, we're not necessarily going out a ton, right? But I don't know, you can tell your friends about it. You can tell some family members about it. Just keep helping us spread the word. And next week's movie night will be Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. We'll post on that. Tomorrow, as the last part of this conclusion, because it's super fast, I think the Rainbow Six crew is coming back on. So if you want to have some fun with this Hectic and the crew, feel free to stop by and say hello. They'd appreciate it. And I think they're mostly going to do casual games, but they do a couple ranked games because they use the video for VOD review. So be sure to stop by and say hello. They're good guys, and they're also good Rainbow Six players. So if you're at all interested in that stuff, feel free to stop by for that. Anything else, Spoon, before we say goodbye?
The East streams will likely continue on the channel. Again, probably not tomorrow because the Rainbow Six guys... If the Rainbow Six guys are not coming on, I will stream more East tomorrow.
I will confirm that.
If they're on, then I obviously won't. And I hope Otto finds some time for some Xenoblade this week, but...
I do too.
But if not, East will continue in its place.
Okay. Yeah, I will confirm the Rainbow Six, by the way, for everybody and for you, Spoon. But I'm mostly certain that they're going to come on. Haven't heard anything otherwise, so that'll do it. There was a lot of game news today. We talked about East a little bit. It's pretty sweet, and hopefully we'll have some more fun next week with movie night, and we'll get to see more East streams and such. So I got to get to class, everybody. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. I'm a party pooper. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good rest of your have a good rest of your night. See ya.